Okay. Check my hat. This is Sierra Vista overlook. And it's windy. Surprise, surprise. The trails would have been right in front of me. Look a little bit to the east. So that's US 350 out there. When the travelers were coming down the trail, they must have saw this outcropping of rock, which is about 50 feet above the prairie, so they must have wanted to get a nice long look at this. When there's no clouds in the sky, this is one of my favorite 360-degree views in Colorado. It's really impressive. So next we do Front Range. Spanish Peaks are coming into view. Trying to take a look here because I'm going to be reading something to you here in a sec. Alright. Oh god, it's hard to do. Yeah, maybe I'll just go back in the car and read it to you or get someplace sheltered. Let's see. Oh, come back a little bit. Straight in front. Hopefully you can see it. There are three, we called those the three buttes. That was a landmark. They aimed for that. Matter of fact, they went through they aimed the trail through a notch. I don't know whether it's the east notch or the west notch, but they aimed for that. That's where the trail went straight through. Beyond that, of course, is where I just was at Iron Spring. Yeah, I'll read what I have Mark Simmons' book with me. He was the head of the Santa Fe Trail Association during the 1980s. Wrote a very useful little highway guide on what to look for as you did all this. Yeah, the reason I wanted to, it raises the issue of rattlesnakes. I want to deal with that. Maybe I can get it done up here. Gosh, I would like to be here instead of in my car. It's just too windy. Get someplace. Alright. Well, being on the prairie and elevated above it about 40 or 50 feet. Surprise, surprise, it's the windiest spot around. So, present day, this they say it's a trailhead, but I see a fence, and I'm wondering. I mean, I have wondered about riding my bike down the trail, but like I said, I see a fence. Like they don't want us down there or something. Maybe that's it over there where I can go through. I have a better idea for my bike later in the day, though. So we'll, it's amazing. Come down a little bit, and it's not so windy. Pay attention to what I'm doing. Sierra Vista. Stop there and take a look, just like all the pioneers must have done during the active days of the trail. Sit in this spot, see if I'm sheltered enough to read this little passage from Simmons. 3 miles ahead of us. Well, it's even less than that. That's maybe just a mile or so. Is the ghost town of Timpas, and that was I think a stagecoach station. It was. We'll look here. Okay. Well, bear with me. I'll read this quickly. Approaching the ghost town of Timpas, observe the three buttes, really three pointed hills to the left, east of the highway. I'm aiming the camera straight at it. The stage route of the Santa Fe Trail passed through a gap between them and the adjoining hills on the west side. Deeply eroded ruts ascend the gap. So, I haven't been there. Timpas State Station lay about 1/2 mile west of the present ghost town on the banks of Timpas Creek. Do not look for it, however, because no trace remains, and the area is full of rattlesnakes in season. Okay, I've been there before. What's happened since Simmons wrote that passage, that has been turned into a picnic area where that rattlesnake infested area was. The reason I bring that up is because I'm wondering what they did to not only get rid of the rattlesnakes at the time, but how they control it. I mean, the natural environment is still the same. You got to figure that they'd still be there. But I've never seen one. I've been there a couple times. I'm careful, obviously, but this whole issue of rattlesnake mitigation is going to be part of doing this right, making people safe when they're as safe as possible. If they do ride this full distance of the trail. So I'll go to that picnic area later in the day. I've got to go get some gas right now.